Hello and welcome back to my channel. We are going to be doing a 24-hour reading challenge, but I don't actually read 24 hours straight because I need sleep and I just would not be a functioning human if I didn't. We are actually going to split it up a little bit. Today is Friday, it's the freaking weekend, and I'm so excited to get started. I thought it would be fun to just end work, make some tea, light a candle, and then spend some time reading today or tonight. And I feel like starting on a Friday will just kind of give me a head start with reading 24 hours this weekend. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I'll try and read as much as I can. I've never succeeded when I do this challenge, but I think it's just really fun and I don't really have too many plans this weekend. I do have something on Saturday, but for the rest of the weekend, I'm mostly open and I'm really excited to just hang back at home and do some reading, just spend a lot of time reading. I'm also really behind on my reading goal for this year because June and July was just the biggest slump for me. Honestly, even April and May. I've been starting to read more and I kind of feel motivated to try and hit my reading goal. Not a big deal if I don't, but I thought it'd be fun to try. I have a stack of books here. I have so many books that I can choose from just so that I have options. I know I'm not going to get to all of these books. It's just not possible. I went to the library earlier today and I went during my lunch break. It was so nice outside. The weather, it felt like summer and it's officially fall. So I would prefer it to feel more like fall, but it was really nice to have a sunny day because it's been pretty cloudy here. I took a look at these shelves that they have in the front that typically have new releases, and I saw another book that I was kind of curious about and I picked it up. So that's part of the stack too. Did not intend to grab it while I was there. I just went to the library to pick up my holds, but alas, I ended up with another book. Let's just kind of talk about these books a little bit, what I have on my TBR for some possible options. The first one I have on this stack you might have recognized if you watched my fall TBR video. This is one that I'm hoping to read this fall, so I figured why not throw it in. It's a collection of short stories. I also have Strega. This is a book that I've had on my shelves for a while, and I feel like it could be good to ease into the October spooky months. Yeah, I don't really remember what that one's about. The next one I have is Elena Knows, and this one I actually did start reading earlier this year, but I feel like I wasn't in a good headspace to read it, so I did soft DNF it, but I do really want to get back to it. This is also an option because it's shorter, so I was looking for some shorter books, some more fast-paced books. I feel like that's a good way to go. I also have the details on here. When I'm filming this, it's still September, and I have been participating in Shorty September, so I thought that this one might be a good one. I also have the audiobook of it, so I can switch between the audio and the physical. I have Troubling Love on my list. This is part of my Shorty September TBR. I thought that this one could be a fun one to add. I don't know if I'm in the mood for it, but we'll see. And then I have When the Emperor Was Divine. This one I think I might want to pick up this weekend. Curious about her writing, so we'll see. Then let me these are the library books. Perfect. The books that I wanted to pick up from the library and had holds for. Foster by Keegan. I have been wanting to I've been wanting to read Small Things Like These, and I tried to see if I could get it from my library, but it's fully out, and it's probably because the movie's coming out in November. And then I went to my local bookstore and she had just sold the last copy that morning, so that's the one I wanted to read, but I thought why not try Foster and just get a taste of what Claire Keegan's writing is like. And I feel like a lot of people really love this book. I posted a picture on my Instagram today of the library books that I got, and so many people have been I loved Foster was so good, Claire Keegan's writing is so good, so I'm excited that I have Foster. The second book was Kala by Colin Walsh. I hate this cover so much. If you've seen the UK edition, no, I don't like this at all. But this is supposed to be a mystery crime kind of a novel, and I think that this will be pretty fast paced. Ray from What Ray Reads on that picture that I posted on my Instagram mentioned that she could not put this down. She was intrigued from start to finish. So I might read this one soon. I might read it this weekend. I might do that. The book that I saw that I picked up, which I guess you already saw because I think I might include some clips, some little vlog clips. It was Worry by Alexandra Tanner. I saw it on the shelves and I was like, should I just get it? Because I had been talking to Ivana and I know that she had read it recently. So It's been on my TBR. When I saw it at the library, I was like, this is my sign. I'm going to pick this up. So I might try and do this one on audio as well. Those are the books that I have on my TBR. Like I said, I'm not going to get to all of them. That's just not possible for me. But I like options and I like being able to like switch up when I'm reading. So I guess by the end of this video, we'll see what I actually end up reading. I think what I'm going to start with is Foster by Keegan, because this is such a short book that I feel like I could read it really, really quickly. I also saw that there was an audiobook and I was curious to see like how long the audiobook was, and it said an hour. So I feel like I could just knock out an hour and then we're down to 23 hours. I just have 23 hours to go. And then after that, I might start Kala and see how I feel about it. I think that might be the move. And then we'll kind of see where I go with the rest of the stack. This is definitely kind of a wild stack. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, why did I feel the need to pick this many books? But here we are. I feel like I've been gabbing for a bit, telling you what books I want to read. I'm going to start with Foster, drink my tea, get cozy on the couch, and I will check in as I go. Please just disregard what's happening in the background. It's a mess here. I am officially done with Foster by Keegan. I got to 59 minutes, 42 seconds, so I'm almost at an hour. Wanted to chat a little bit about it. This was so good. Like, I know a lot of people were hyping it up, and I was nervous that I don't know. Sometimes when things are really hyped up, I just get nervous because I don't want it to affect how I feel about the book, but I could not put this down. It was so readable. We are following this young child who has been left at a farm with some of her relatives. I don't know that she's that close to them because it kind of seems like she's not super familiar with them, and her mom is pregnant, so she's going to be giving birth to a son soon. She's left there. Her father drops her off, and it's not really clear like how long she'll be staying with these relatives. So she's there. She's like bonding with this husband and wife. It's a very like simple story, like when I explain it and when I think about it, but there was like a lot of emotion within this. I felt like a sadness while reading it, but also it felt like really haunting, and I just like felt like a pit in my stomach a little. Like I was nervous what was going to happen and like what direction this was going to go in. I should have like taken notes and stopped. Okay, let's see. So the main narrator says, I wish I was out there working, as I'm unused to sitting still and do not know what to do with my hands. Part of me wants my father to leave me here, while another part of me wants him to take me back to what I know. I'm in a spot where I can neither be what I always am, nor turn into what I could be. But I really, really enjoyed this. The storytelling was excellent. I could not put it down. Keegan was just like able to pack in so much emotion in 92 pages. So I think it was a great start, and we already finished a book. It's 8:45 now, so I might read a little bit longer, but I also kind of want to head to bed a little earlier just so I can hopefully, fingers crossed, wake up early and spend some time reading in the morning. I know I said that I wanted to read Kala by Colin Walsh next. I don't know if I want to start with like such a chunky book, especially because I just finished Foster and it felt really good to finish a book. So I think, oh my gosh, my bookmark. So I think I'm going to actually read When the Emperor Was Divine, because this one is under 200 pages. Yeah, it looks like it's 144 pages. So I feel like this one will be a good one to read next, and I also have the audiobook for this one. And then tomorrow I might start this one and maybe switch between this and When the Emperor Was Divine. That's what I'm thinking. I feel like that's a good plan, so that hopefully I can get through more books during this reading vlog. I don't think I'll update you anymore tonight. I will just chat with you tomorrow. Hi, hello, and good morning. It's 10:30. I did wake up at like 7 this morning and I got myself ready and I spent like 30 minutes reading. Now I'm officially, let's pull it up, 2 hours and 42 minutes of reading time has been completed. I need to make coffee. That's the whole point of this clip, is that I'm going to make coffee and talk about this book a little bit because I didn't give you any updates. And hold on, does this work? Wow, I feel legit. I have no idea if this is gonna work. I guess you'll see in the clip if this actually worked. I don't typically drink coffee. I try and drink like either matcha or chai or something that's not so intense because it spikes my anxiety, but I'm gonna need it this weekend because I already feel so sleepy. So we're gonna do that. Isn't this so cool? You guys can still hear me? Oh God, I don't have ice. Okay, let's see. I need this and then this for now. Okay, so I have these cute little ice cube trays. So it's probably gonna get really loud. I'm strong. I am strong. Oh my God. So there's these little round ice cubes. Now I have a bunch of little ice cubes. This is one of my favorite cups and it's actually just like a jam jar or jelly jar. I think it was a jam jar. I don't know. Okay, so for When the Emperor Was Divine, we're basically following this family who has received, or I don't know that it was, there's like billboards, it's being like plastered everywhere and it happens like overnight. And basically it's saying if you are Japanese, you need to pack your things up and leave and get on this train. And they have no idea where they're going and they're basically taken to these Japanese internment camps. So we're following this family who has gotten this notice and they're working on packing things up, but also the husband and the dad of the family, he was previously like picked up by the FBI and taken in for investigation and he's being held somewhere. They don't know when he'll be released or anything like that, and they're just kind of like waiting around. But now they're leaving to go to these internment camps and they write letters to each other, and yeah, they're just kind of like not sure what's going to happen next or how long they have to be there, when they'll be able to go back home, what's going to happen to their homes. Really intense, but it's also written in such an interesting way where it feels so like distant. We don't know the names of these characters. I wonder if that was done intentionally to kind of not necessarily associate the situation with one family, but like it could have been like any of these families that were affected. So I thought that that was like an interesting way to write and like explore this family and the situation, but also the conversations that they have feel so like dreamlike, and I don't know how to explain it. And there's like even one part in the book where the mother of the family says that sometimes I don't know if I'm awake or asleep. You're awake, the boy would tell her. When I read that comment, it just felt so interesting because I was feeling like these conversations they were having felt so dreamlike. We're also just like seeing them dealing with the fact that they're at these internment camps. At first, it feels like, especially in the beginning, the mom sees the letters or the billboard saying that they need to like pack up their things, and she's just kind of like going through the motions and getting things packed and ready, and it doesn't feel like she's really thinking about like why or processing those emotions very much. It's just like, all right, these are the things that I need to do. As we continue the story, we kind of see her unraveling a little bit more, and I feel like it's really like heartbreaking to see just like the slow progression of that, especially seeing how she was in the beginning. In the beginning, there's a scene with a dog and it's really hard to read, so just a heads up on that. I think the way that she's writing it, where it's like a little bit distant, it doesn't feel as intense as it probably was. We're slowly kind of seeing these characters deal with the time that they're having to spend at this internment camp. Right now, I feel like I'm getting a bit more of a perspective of the son, him dealing with his father. He keeps thinking about how his dad was wearing slippers when the FBI came to take him, and how they didn't even give him time to get his shoes, and like, what if the fact that he would have gotten his shoes would have changed things? Like, really focusing in on those details. There's some like thought processes that he's having, like, oh, maybe if I stop biting my nails, or if I eat all my food, or if I do this and this, maybe things will be different. And it's just really heartbreaking to see that and read about that. The daughter, she's very interesting because I feel like there's so many moments where she's like protecting her brother. I don't know that it's ever stated, but I feel like the sister feels like she's older. She's always kind of looking out for him and being like, don't worry, like, go back to sleep. It's been a really interesting book so far in the sense of like the writing style. I don't think I've read anything that's like this. I am 106 pages in. I literally just have this much left, so I'm pretty much almost done. I'm going to drink my coffee. I need to get milk. I like totally forgot I was making coffee. I have this hazelnut syrup that I like to add. I'll just update you once I finish, but enjoying it overall. I'm gonna go chill on the couch, read this, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, I have officially finished my second book in this vlog, and this was pretty strong. I did really enjoy this overall. And at the very end, on the back, I noticed that it says it's talking about the Buddha in the attic. And I guess that the Buddha in the attic ends where this one begins. So it gives you like some prehistory to this one. It's making me very, very curious to pick that one up because I think it'll be interesting to see before like the internment camps. Like I said in the beginning, we are following this family who is now being taken to this internment camp, but we also then see like the aftermath of the internment camps and like the effects that it had on all of the family members and even their like relationships with their like neighbors, and the differences in how they're treated from before the internment camps to after is definitely heavy, seeing what they're kind of going through and just like the sadness of them having to leave their homes and everything they know and having to like think back on their homes and their friends and all of that. I think that this is such a strong debut. I didn't realize that this was her first novel. I'm definitely so excited to read The Boot in the Attic and now The Swimmers. I have Kala by Colin Walsh. I'm debating if I want to start a chunker because it's been really nice to finish these two books in this vlog. And I'm kind of thinking, because I've at least finished two books, maybe I will give this one a try. I don't know, I'm just so curious about this one, and I think that it'll be fast-paced even though it is a thicker book. So I might start listening to the audiobook of this and see how I feel about it, and if not, I might switch to a different book. Actually, let me go check my timer. BRB. Okay, I am back. So it is currently 11:49, and I have been reading for 3 hours in 20 minutes, which it feels like I should have, I don't know. It doesn't feel like I've been reading for just 3 hours. I finished my coffee, but I'm still feeling kind of sleepy. I might make a tea at some point, maybe in the next hour. I don't want to be like too overly caffeinated because I do want to be able to sleep tonight. I'm going to take a little bit of a break from reading, and maybe I'll scroll mindlessly on my phone for a little bit, and then I'll start Kala, and then we'll go from there. So I will talk to you later. 2 seconds ago I said that I was going to start Kala, but I am so not sure if I want to because I also want to read this one, Elena Knows, and then I also saw this one in my stack, and it's like kind of calling my name. So now I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck between these three. So I went to Instagram and put a poll up just to see if anyone has any like strong opinions. Someone's video is playing. We're just gonna keep an eye on it and see if anyone ends up voting for it. Whatever the vote is, we'll see if I end up going with it. I feel like sometimes all you need is like someone to tell you to read one book for you to realize that you actually want to read another book. We're just gonna see where the vote falls and maybe I'll go with it. I don't know. So I'm going to take a break from reading, wait for the poll, give it like, I don't know how long I should give it, maybe 30 minutes. I don't know if that's enough time, but we'll see. I'm just going to leave it open and then decide from there. So things have changed. We'll see what the poll ends up deciding. I will let you know.
Oh, so cute. So cute. Yes.
Okay, so the people have spoken. I posted on Instagram, and Elena knows won by like 75%. And granted, I only left it up for like 30-ish minutes, but most people were voting for Elena knows. So I'm just going to go with this one. I'm not going to lie, I think this is the one that I really wanted to read next. We are going to start the timer back up because it's 1:02. I took a little bit of a break from reading. I feel like I was so tired. And it's funny because it's like I'm not doing anything crazy, but it can be a lot to read. It can be a lot. Okay, so we are at the glare 300 3 hours and 20 minutes. There we go. It's on. Howdy, I am back. I don't think I said this earlier, but I did have some plans to go out for a friend's birthday, and I was gone for like maybe 3 hours, so didn't get too much more reading done. I did read when I was on my way and when I was on my way back, so let me check. I don't actually remember. Oh, it's right here. I'm at 5 hours and 39 minutes, which is not great considering it's 6:44 right now. So I am very behind. I would have loved to reach 12 hours by today, but I don't think that's happening. I went to Oktoberfest for my friend's birthday, and now I'm making a tea. I'm feeling pretty tired, and I'm just gonna do like an Earl Grey. I think that sounds good. It could be a mistake because I've already had coffee today, and I would like to still go to sleep at a decent hour. I think that this will be just nice to sip on while I'm reading my book, and hopefully it'll keep me up, which, hold on, I need to get my book. Let me steep my water, and then we'll be in business. In my favorite mug. So I'm gonna let that steep for 5 minutes, 6:49. I'm over halfway. We are following Elena. Her daughter's body was found hanging in the belfry of the church. So not a spoiler. I wasn't sure if it was a spoiler, but everyone is saying that it was suicide, and Elena doesn't believe that because of specific details of that day. And because of those details, she thinks that it's not true that Rita would have went to the church on her own, so she thinks that she was killed. Elena has Parkinson's disease. The whole book starts off with her trying to go and find out like what actually happened, and she's trying to go to a specific person named Isabella to get some information or get her help, and she has to time it perfectly because she has to line it up with her medications so that she's able to leave the house on her own and go onto this commute, because she has to get to the train, and then from the train she has to take a car. So it's a process for her to get to Isabella, to meet with her and talk to her. You're very in her head, and she's thinking about like every movement that she has to make. Like she has to lift her foot, put her foot down, lift her other foot, put her other foot down. I'm so glad that I picked this back up, and I knew that I would love it, but it is so good. I remember the first time I was reading it, finding Elena really funny, and like her interactions with her daughter and just everyone around her. I really love Elena as a character. So I've been enjoying like the bits of humor throughout this. It's also just really heartbreaking because, you know, you're seeing Elena, she's like dealing with her daughter and like the death, and what does that make her? Does that still make her a mother? She's like having all these questions. And then you also see like the complicated relationship between her and her daughter. Rita, you can definitely tell, is just kind of like harsh towards her mother. And for Rita, it's also, I'm sure, difficult because she was like the main caretaker for her mom. I will definitely be finishing it tonight, which is so crazy. I never finish books during reading vlogs, but this is now my third book. Granted, the first book was like 92 pages, but still, I think that's so cool. I'm really excited that I have been able to read so much. I guess that's what happens when I like put my phone down and I don't scroll and I actually just spend time reading. Isn't that crazy? Thanks to everyone who voted for this. I feel like I'm reading such great books right now. I've been enjoying all of them. I'm going to drink my tea. Oh yeah, my tea is done. And then just spend the rest of tonight finishing. Okay, I'm also gonna take this off. So Oktoberfest was done and now I have my tea and I'm ready to get cozy on the couch. So let's do it. Officially finished the third book, not the third book, a third book in this reading vlog, and I'm like so shocked by that. This was amazing. I really thought it was gonna make me cry at the end, but it didn't, but it almost did. It almost had me. I am obsessed with her writing. Her humor's really, it's just up my alley. Like, I loved the humor in this. I chuckled so much. There's also a lot of like sad moments, and I love when a book can balance that and have both. I feel like another author that has humor in her books while also dealing with heavy topics is Miriam Taves, and I mean, I'm obsessed with her, so I feel like if she does this with her other books, could totally see her being like a new favorite author. I don't think I mentioned this earlier. I swear, whenever I like do stuff while I'm talking, I always forget stuff. This book takes place within one day. It's separated into 3 different parts. The first part is the morning, and that's when she's taken her second pill of the day. And then there's the second part where it's midday and she's taken her 3rd pill. The 3rd, which she's taken her 4th pill, it's the afternoon. She gets to this lady's house and we see them interact, and we find out a little bit more about who this woman is and what Elena's connection is to her and an event that took place 20 years ago. There's a lot of discussion on like motherhood, caretaking, grief, dealing with a chronic illness. It's all in here while also adding that layer of like mystery where we're wondering, did Elena's daughter Rita kill herself, or was she killed? Like, which is it? By the end, you find out, or it's a little bit more clear. This was just amazing. I really loved the exploration of motherhood in this. This is absolutely a favorite. I think that this will stick with me for a long time, and I'm so curious to read more from her now. This was so damn good. I don't know if I formed a cohesive thought because it's 8:45 and I'm a bit tired from the day. The tea helped. The tea definitely powered me through, but I think I'm probably gonna shower soon and chill and read a little bit more. For where I'm at, I'm almost at the 7-hour mark. So close. I just like 2 minutes away, barely a minute away. I think I'm gonna shower, like I said, and decide between these two. I don't know. I feel like I'm on such a roll, and I'm officially on Storygraph. I think I'm 4 books behind. I had been 8 books behind for a long time. I kept like reading books, and then it would go down to 7, and then it would go back up to 8, but I'm officially 4 books away from being back on track. So I'm kind of leaning towards Strega because it's shorter, and I also have the audiobook for it, so I can do other things while I'm reading. But I don't know if this is a bad idea to read before bed. So I might start it, suss it out. I also have some other books that I can choose from because I think Cal will also be kind of an intense book to read before bed. I don't know. I am having a little snack. I was having this popcorn, and I'm not typically someone who like eats while reading, but that was really nice, and it wasn't super messy because there's no like dust on my fingers. I would love to know, like, do you tend to eat food while you read? And if you do, what do you read? What do you eat? Because I typically don't. If I'm eating like breakfast and I'm reading a book that I'm really, really interested in, I'll read while eating. But like typically I'm not like a big reader with snacks. But I might become one with this popcorn because that was a great experience. I don't know if I'll talk to the camera again tonight because I'm going to shower and then probably crawl into bed with a book. We'll see how far I get tonight. Even if I don't read for 24 hours, I will say reading 3 books in one reading vlog has been a success in my opinion. So yeah. Okay. Gonna go shower and get comfy and hopefully read a little bit more. I'm back already because I was looking on Libby to see if the audiobook was available, and it is. So I might actually read Worry instead. That feels like a book to read before bed, more so than Strega or Callum. And then tomorrow, I think I'll start Strega. That's my update. Okay, now for real, I'm going to shower and chill and read Worry. I'm so excited. Okay, bye. Hello. I have not spoken to the camera today, and I wanted to give a little bit of an update. We went out this morning. We were supposed to run a few errands, and it just like turned into like this whole day thing. So I didn't get to read as much as I wanted. Once I got home, I was feeling so like wiped from the day, and like I've been trying to take my Sundays a lot slower, and today, unintentionally, I did not take it slow and got home and I felt like absolute trash. I don't know, something about like being out when it's like super busy and there's like a lot of people around. Everywhere that I went, it felt like it was so loud. Like my ears, I don't even know how to explain it, but they just like feel like painful, like sore. And I think it's just like I'm also getting like a bit of a headache because there's just like a lot of tension. I've literally just been like sitting on the couch reading. It's been so nice to just be home and it's like not so loud. There's not like a bunch of people around me. Feeling myself like finally like coming down because I was like so tense today. But as an update for the reading challenge and where I'm at, it's not looking good. So I am at 13 hours. And today is the final day that I wanted to do this challenge, and it's currently 7:30. I'm going to keep reading tonight, but I mean, we all know that I'm not hitting 24 hours. I'm just kind of curious to see how long I can read and how far I can get. This was a fail, but I will say I've read now, how many books have I think I've read 4 books at this point. Have I? No. I have. I've read Foster by Claire Keegan, When the Emperor Was Divine by Julie Otsuka, Elena Knows by Claudia Piñeiro, and Worry by Alexandra Tanner. And I might finish another book, actually. I'm doing okay book-wise, so I feel like that was a success. I was able to read so many books in 13 hours, and also I am now officially 3 books behind on my reading challenge, where I was like 8 books behind last week. So that Feels really, really good. For an update on Worry, I feel so bad. I feel like so many people seem to like it. I wanted to love it more than I do. I don't think it was my favorite read out of the bunch. Like, I've read some other books in this video that I really enjoyed so much more. For the synopsis on this one, it's basically we're following two sisters. The youngest one is a bit depressed and has moved to New York to live with her older sister. We're watching them like live together, and there's constant bickering. They're always like at each other's throats, it feels like. And then with their parents, they have like such complicated relationships with them. The mother seems just like the absolute worst. The interactions between her and the daughters were so tense, and I don't know if it's because I was reading this when I was like out doing errands and I was already feeling a bit like overwhelmed by everything, but I don't know, something about it felt like, okay, they're fighting again, and they're fighting again, and they're fighting again. I don't know, I just didn't find myself caring about the characters. I did find moments where it was really funny, but overall I feel like I just couldn't get too into it. I think I just kind of like powered through the audiobook and finished. I don't know what I was expecting going into this book, but it wasn't this. I was just stressed a lot of the time. Gave me a bit of a headache on top of the headache that I was already acquiring from just like being out into the world. Now I'm going to move on to Strega for like the rest of the evening. I don't think I'll read anything else tonight. Finishing this one will be a great place to stop, because then I can actually talk about 5 whole books in this video, which is so exciting to me. The fact that I can talk about some books that I finished, because normally I never finish books in reading vlogs. In Strega, I am 72 pages through. I also started this while I was out running errands. We are following, I don't know if I know her name. Do I know her name? I feel like I do know her name, but I can't remember what her name is. But basically it starts off with her going to this hotel to work for like the summer. So she's like a seasonal worker, and it's in this town called Strega. She's there with a bunch of other girls, and they're bonding, getting to know each other. The way that like they have to work, it seems like they have to be really close and tight-knit, and everything they do is together, and if one person does something wrong, then they all get punished. So it's really interesting to see that, but I will say like the atmosphere, I feel like that alone is really enjoyable to me. There's like so many parts where I'm reading it and I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but the vibes are really cool and eerie, and like, what's this hotel about? So far I am enjoying it. That's about all the information I have on this, and maybe as I keep going I'll like start understanding more, or maybe this is a book that's like mostly like atmospheric or something. There's like one part where there's 2 girls and just talking about like how they're so happy that they have each other, and one of them says, when I think that we could have gone a lifetime without meeting, I get a sinking feeling, something at once frightful and exhilarating. Imagine. What a sad life. Then one might as well have been born a stone, volcanic stone that closes in on itself, as in death. And then the other girl says, when I think that we could have gone a lifetime without meeting, I would rather die. I'd rather be a beautiful corpse than live 1 second without this. I walked through the city where everything was steaming with late summer rain heat. I arrived in Strega. Everything seemed impossible around me. And then you arrived. And she reached out a hand and stroked my cheek and said, and then I arrived. I think that was a little sweet moment that they had. I'm going to get back to reading and drink my tea and just sit on the freaking couch, or maybe I'll read here. This seems like a good spot right now. And hopefully I will just update you later, maybe my final thoughts on Strega. Yeah, I will talk to you then. Hello. So I actually never came back to give my final thoughts on Strega, and this video is getting kind of long, so I will say that I honestly don't really remember much from the book. I read it about a week ago, and yeah, nothing's really sticking with me, but the atmosphere was there for me. I really, really enjoyed that. It was fun while I was reading it, but did not stick with me whatsoever. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one, which should hopefully be a wrap up of all the books I've read recently that I just haven't shared with you all. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.